IBD meetup for November 2022. My name is Raja Ponnusamy. I am going to walk you through the regular market update. The following are the topics. We are going to take a look at the index charts for SPX, NDX, and the Russell. Then the market internals. Then finally we'll end with the levels we need to be watching in the SPX. So let's get it started. First, I want to take you through the market internals. The charts for the indexes. So here is the chart for Standard and Poor. What you see here in the month of October, just before our last month meeting, market made the lows. From there on, the internals has improved, and also market was going up with just 3 days of downtime after the whatever the market report has, after the Fed, I think, Fed report. So by looking at this chart, what do we understand, or where do we think the support and resistances are? If you follow this yellow line, here you see here there was a support at one point of a time, support that turned into a resistance, that again turned into a resistance. Now we broke well above this resistance point. So for some reason, this 3900 level is acting as a great support or a great resistance. So now that given it was acting as a resistance before and we broke above this level, now the expectation is that whenever the market comes back down here, this level should act as a good support, at least in the first touch of touching this level 3900. So what do we expect from here? So once we come back here, we would expect the buyers might step in. This is being a great level around 3900, and the target is being this trend line. Here you see that downward trend line starting from the all the way high, connecting, and this is the trend line. It may be testing this trend line in the next couple of days. So now the path of least resistance is up. The reason being we broke above a critical resistance point, which is at 3900, and now look at here, from here to here, at least 4100, another 150 SPX points. There is not much resistance in between. There is a gap zone. Once we tested the gap today in the pre-market and we sold off from there, but the next test would break that gap and we possibly will be moving higher. So just by looking at this chart, RSI, I can see that RSI is making a higher high, which is in accordance with the market index. Index is making higher high, RSI is making higher high. So there is no deviation on the RSI. So that is a one check mark for us to confirm or be confident that a little bit more upside, at least more upside is in the cards in the coming days or coming weeks. So that is one level. Now, when we reach this 4100 level, what do we expect? So this 4100 level, look at from here. Somewhere this level also is acting as a, you can look from here on the left. If I draw a line from here, that it is coming through. There is a support here. It was chopping around this level but could not hold and drop down, and this level is acting as a support. Now it acts as a resistance. So when it goes back to the 4100 level, at least the first touch, we would expect a reaction from this level. Most probably the sellers would be around this place, and also the trend line. We don't expect the trend line to be breaking in the first touch. When we talk about a trend line, the important thing is when the market making a lower low and coming back to the trend line, it may not break the trend line. So here if you see, it was a low, then we made a lower low. right? And if you go back to this trend line, it may not be breaking this trend line. That's a basic technical analysis of the market. When we are making lower lows and going back to the trend line, the trend line might hold. This is a great level. 4100 is a great level. The trend line might hold. It may not be able to break this level in the first attempt. We got to see how the reaction is going to be. So I would expect when it reach here, there would be a reaction. So even if it comes back around here, 3900, we have to watch how this level reacts. So if it reaches the 1300 one more time and a shallow bounce, then it comes back here. That time it may break. So that's how the reaction will happen. But this is one scenario. The second scenario is it's not a shallow bounce. The bounce is going back here. So what will happen is this resistance will break, and we might march higher, at least to this 4300 level. So that is the second scenario. So both the scenarios are possible, but for now, the path of least resistance is higher and up until 4100. So this is by just by looking at this chart under this RSI under the basic technical analysis. The other reason why this 4100 is going to be a big level, if I draw the retracement, if I consider this as one leg, and if I uh, count the distance and project the distance from here, that is coming around 4100. So in either case, there is a trend line, there is a previous resistance, and also the 100% retracement of leg 2. So all of them coincides, is going to act as a very strong resistance level at 4100, which is another 110 120 points from where we are. So this is the analysis for the SPX. So now let's go to NDX. On the NDX side, very similar. It's above the 20, above the 50-day moving average. You can look at the previous. This is a previous resistance. This is a previous resistance. We broke above that. Now this level, 11700, is going to act as a support going forward. So at this point it may come back, and any retest of this level may be a buy, assuming that we are not going to break down. If it goes below the 50, then that's we should be out. We may be going down a lot more. But at this first level, I don't expect it to be broken because of the multiple touches here, and we broke this level. Why we broke this level? Look at as a basic technical analysis, right? From the low, we went to here. It's a bounce, and then we sold off from this level. We did not make a new low. Okay, we did not make a new low. Without making a new low, if you go back to retest the same resistance one more time, the more chances that we may break that level. So that is what exactly happened. And now we are well above this line. Possibility that we may be going back to this trend line in the coming days. When SPX is testing its trend line, NDX might also be testing its trend line. So there is a more room for NDX to the move upside than the downside. So that is one point we can consider. The other thing, so where do we expect? Where is the big resistance level? So here is the resistance level for NDX. So the previous resistance that may act as a resistance, but we have downtrending channel. Our downtrending trend line is coming here, so that would be the area to watch. So this is for the NDX. If I go to Russell, if you look at the ladder concept, right, support and resistance, or floor or the ceiling, this was the previous resistance. Again, another second touch. It broke well above that, came back. Now with the resistance becoming a support. This is exactly what we are looking for in the SPX setup. So it held as a support twice. It been tested, held as a support. Now it went back above and testing this ceiling. So now Russell is at the resistance, and it need to break this level up in order for us to go. Let's say if it breaks this level, then the next potential target will be here, the high level here. So it has a lot of room to go, but it need to go up above this level first for it to move higher. So all the three indexes are showing, but in terms of the relative strength, right? NDX is sorry, the Russell is slightly weaker, considering that RSI made a higher high, but now it did not make the high. The market made a high, but RSI did not make the high. There is a slight weakness here. But if you look at SPX, SPX hit a high and it made a higher high. So SPX is much stronger than Russell. So SPX has more room, or much easier to get long and look for this 4100 level, which is at least another 3% higher from where we are. So this is just looking at the chart. Now let's go back to the market internals to see whether the internals are confirming the move up. For that, let me pull up the internals chart. So here is the advanced internal data captured today, as of today. So if you look at the last couple of days, this is advancing stocks versus declining stock, and here is the volume, and here is the total volume. So this is the four columns I'm focusing on. If you look at here from November 2nd, the advancing stocks are going higher and higher, are in the 2000s, and the declining stocks are getting lower and lower. Even today, even though market had a sell-off in the mid of the day, you can see that advancing volume is much higher than the declining volume, and the volume, total volume, is slightly less than the last 2 days. So market is coming down a little bit, but advancing volume is higher, the total volume is lower. So that means the market has a good chance of bouncing up and going upwards. Similarly on the NDX side. So NDX also the same thing, advancing stock versus a declining stock, and the volume on the advancing days are higher than the volume on declining days. So all these are pointing towards market having more room on the upside. So having said that, what are the different levels we should be watching in terms of the SPX? So obviously the first level is this one, 3900, 4100, then obviously then it goes to the 4300, 4600. Those are the key important levels. On the lower side, if it breaks 3900, then there may be potential that we may coming back to the 3700, and possibly there is a retest of 3500. So all of these levels I have captured here. That would be useful if anybody want to take a reference. These are the useful levels to watch for. But what I can conclude by looking at the chart as well as looking at the market internals, market has a little bit of room to move upside, and the level to watch would be 4100, how it is reacting, how much it's coming down. So if we have a shallow pullback and go back and retest here, then this resistance will break. But if we have a deeper pullback, then we have to reevaluate, how this market is going to react. So these are the information I wanted to share with you all. I hope this will be helpful, and thank you for watching.